Hello and welcome to Burning Cinema, a nostalgic look back and review of films gone by. I'm your host Ross, and joining me is my good friend and co-host Tom, and together we'll be dissecting and exploring the world of cinema and what it has to offer. So Tom, tell the good listeners, what is it we do here at Burning Cinema and how does it all work?
So how this works is each episode, one of us will assign the other one a film to watch. In the following episode, we'll discuss our thoughts, feelings of the chosen film and see if we actually even liked it. So last time, I set Ross the task of watching 1996's Independence Day, directed by Roland Emmerich, and this time he set me a film for this episode. Ross, what did you tell me to go and watch?
So, I dug out from the depths. In this episode, we will be discussing Steven Spielberg's 2005 remake of War of the Worlds.
Rachel, want to see something cool?
He hid right behind our house.
Lightning doesn't strike twice.
You believe this, Ray? Every single car.
I've never seen that many strikes of lightning in one spot.
Feel that? There's something down there, and it's moving. We're leaving this house in 60 seconds.
Dad,
suitcase.
Dad, you're really scary.
Bring it to me, okay?
Why?
Just do it.
Tell me what you saw.
Whose car is this?
Ray, where you going? What are you doing?
Get in, Manny.
Get out of the truck. I'm not kidding, Ray.
Get in, Manny, or you're gonna die.
War of the Worlds 2005, obviously released June 29th of that year in the US, and then on the 1st of July 2005 in the UK. A little bit of a connection with our last episode because we delved into the 1996 film, as you said, Tom, Independence Day. Spielberg was actually writing the remake for this in 1996.
It took him a whole 9 years to get there.
I know, exactly. And he basically decided to put the script down. So they had it probably ready, and they put it down, and because of Independence Day coming out, he felt that, we didn't need two alien war, end of the world films out there. So, and then here we are, 20 years later in 2025. 20 years, I know. It's crazy, isn't it? Tell our good listeners, what is War of the Worlds 2005 all about?
So, War of the Worlds essentially follows the story of Ray, played by Tom Cruise. He's a pretty poor father, average guy, works at the docks. His children come to visit him when the aliens arrive, and essentially his one sole mission is to keep them and himself alive and try and get the family reunited without becoming prey to the aliens or falling victim to their wanton destruction.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it, isn't it? I don't think it ventures too far from the original story, does it? Too much.
It sort of
it
sticks
pretty
with
much
it.
is your classic
Modern twist.
alien kind of film, yeah.
I've got some cool facts I found out while
Or
looking at
give me
this
the
film.
facts. Yeah.
So, the words alien and Martian are never actually spoken in the film.
Well, not at all?
Not at all.
Wow.
The only reference we got to them not being of anything they know is when the character Robbie, Tom Cruise's son,
Yeah.
asks if they're from Europe. Also, some random facts I sort of looked at, because I was looking at the cast list. Did you know Channing Tatum was actually in this film?
No. Wait, who's he? He's not a Martian. Not a Martian, is he?
No. So his scene was actually cut. So it was meant to be, the church when the aliens turn up.
Yeah.
Or we'll come on to this a little bit later on.
Yeah.
He was meant to be a character in the church who'd have a bit of a chat.
Yeah.
And now the only time you see him on screen when he very briefly runs across it when the alien rocks up.
Oh, right.
So he's basically an extra now in the film. But also in it is Ty Simpkins, who you may remember from Jurassic World and Iron Man 3.
Okay. Who's he again? Remind me
the
again.
little kid who, when Iron Man 3, he comes across something like a shed, doesn't he?
Oh, it's the kid.
The kid, yeah.
Yeah, who got the
he's
spud
like
gun.
3
Yeah.
years old in this film. So he's literally...
Is he?
Yep.
Right.
David Harbour.
I know David Harbour. Yeah. Stranger Things.
Stranger
Yeah.
Things, Hellboy.
Yeah.
He's one of the go-tos at the moment. He was also meant to be in this film. His scenes were cut as well. He was credited as Doc Worker. Did have seen Tom Cruise apparently, but never made the film. So there's a few sort of...
Wow.
But, I mean, Channing Tatum, I think he made his breakout in Step Up, which I think came after this film. So this was like just before that.
That would be a
break.
podcast with my wife. That would be, because they were her films. Yeah, she knows a lot about Channing Tatum. I just go along with it. I just go along with it. Yeah.
What else? Yeah, I mean, and also the film was apparently supported by the Pentagon. So when they have the military units in there, they're actually military units: U.S. Marine Corps and U.S. Army.
Oh, so they're the real boys. You know,
Real ones, yeah. Got them involved.
Oh wow.
He's done that before, though, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Saving Private Ryan.
Yes, he has.
It's the Irish Army, wasn't it?
That's a Spielberg trait. Yeah, he goes and gets the real people and goes and finds them, doesn't he? Yeah.
Stuck with it. So
That'll probably be a theme for our later Spielberg films that we do. Yeah. I mean, yeah, the guy's a master, isn't he?
He knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing. But does he know what he's doing in this? That's
Well,
what we've got to ask the question, isn't it?
Let's dive into it and find out.
Can I just say how metallic this film looks? When I say metallic, I mean it's got like this like grey sheen to it. That
It
I
does
don't know if you noticed.
It has got that sort of coloration to it. It's like a almost dull in a way, though, isn't it? In terms of there's no sort of vivid colours.
I don't think it puts the film off at all or whatever. It certainly helps it, I think, along the way. You know, I'm going to talk about scale. I love
like
scale.
scale.
I love scale. And everything from the beginning is giving you reference to how big things are.
At the very beginning, we've got the narration, and immediately, I mean, we've got Morgan Freeman narrating it.
Oh, yes.
One of the, probably the three finest narrators, in my opinion. You've got Morgan Freeman, Sir David Attenborough, and Matt Berry.
Yeah.
But, so we got one of the three doing that, and even then it's talking about scale, and the fact that we're being watched. Well, are we being watched? How small are we if we're being watched? In the sense that they're watching us from another planet, without saying where. And I think he says sort of lines, doesn't he? Again, you've obviously referenced the book, and one of my favourite lines he says in that is that slowly and surely they drew their plans against us.
Which is right off the page, isn't it?
It's such a fantastic line. And then, like you said, we meet Ray, crane operator down at the docks, got a cool car, Mustang. What year was the Mustang? I think it was 67. But,
they've always got a Mustang. I mean, that is the essence of being cool, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I'm just so cool. And he's got... And doesn't he have stuff in the house as well? Doesn't he? He has like engine parts.
Block and all
Yeah,
that.
he's classic kind of like... He's still a young man. He's refusing probably to grow up. I don't know. We're getting this opinion of him. But yeah.
His kids are then brought there, aren't they? Because his kids arrive with his ex-wife or ex-partner and her new man. Ex-wife is played by Miranda Otto, who many people will know as Eowyn in Lord of the Rings. Pretty much immediately, Tom Cruise is not a good dad in this film.
But then we're going to see some reports coming from, of all places, the Ukraine.
It's almost like a way of sort of trying to say, we're not going to do Russia this time, because that's where they always go for it. It's always, we're based, aliens are in America, let's go and compare ourselves to Russia. It seems to be almost a little thing. So they've sort of gone, let's try and not do that, and we'll go to their neighbours.
Yeah, and so we're getting lightning strikes, aren't we? We're getting that's a throwaway television sort of clip, isn't it? As we go into the house, I think, isn't it? And there's clearly something going on. Yeah.
What I like they did, and it's the same as Independence Day. With this film, they just sort of got very quickly into the action. Let's get on with this. So very quickly we then get the storm then turns up in America land, and it's sort of the traditional, sort of almost like hurricane sort of cloud. But the thing, I thought they built this up really well. The wind blows into the storm, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's the
washing on the line is like
Yeah.
waving up at the storm,
Yeah.
and that was sort of, oh, this isn't right. He's talking to his neighbour, who, she's just the neighbour talking and going, this is weird. The wind's blowing into the storm.
Yeah, so that's our first. And first little notion, isn't it? That things are not right. I mean, we know things aren't right. There's a big cloud. But hats off to the sound design.
Oh, it's insane.
The lightning, you could have quite easily have just done crashing and striking and stuff like that. But there's this weird sound, isn't there, that it's making. It's not quite the same.
We all sort of know that sound without having heard it. This has got a new sort of intensity and aggression to it. It's really angry lightning. And it happens once and I'm like, ooh, what was that? And also, like I said, I was 9 years old at the time, so this was freaking me out. I was like, what is that? That's not lightning.
No.
And then the fun thing I find is Tom Cruise's character Ray sort of tries to calm his daughter down. She's obviously very young, probably 7 or so, maybe. And she's freaking out. He said, don't worry, lightning never strikes the same place twice. And then it just keeps striking the same spot. And it was like, what on earth is going on here?
So And that's the thing. I remember sitting in the cinema, and I say, like, I'm quite privileged to watch it in the cinema, I think, because, yeah, you get the sound, and you've never seen the film before. You don't know really quite. We kind of know. I know the story of War of the Worlds off by heart, and I kind of know what's coming. But I think that's the glory thing about Spielberg. What he's done, he's giving you something a little bit different than it's not the norm.
Yeah.
We haven't got, like we had when we were reviewing Independence Day, a flying saucer coming into the atmosphere. We haven't got
there's no ships, is there?
There's no ships. There's no nothing. We've got weird weather that is, but is it weird weather? Is it? We don't really know. And I love that kind of mystery of, well, we just don't know. We're just going to have to go along with this and see how it's going to play out. And
that's exactly what it does, isn't it? Because he goes down there. Ray decides to head down to the centre of town, I suppose, really. It's this sort of crossroads by the church. And there's just a hole in the ground. Literally, like
it strikes the same place, doesn't it? And
it's like a few inches wide, maybe like a football perhaps or something like that. If that, a hole in the ground, and that is initially literally it. But then there's the noises start happening, and the ground starts to crack, and it starts to get a bit freaky for people. I'm sort of like, what's that? Is that the water main? What's going on down there? Is it subway and that sort of thing? Everyone's sort of questioning things.
I kind of believe that everybody would swarm to where this is, you know.
It's like
and people sit there and go, well, and you talk about believable stuff. You sit there and you go, yeah, I do believe it. I don't know if you noticed in there was a scene where there's some guys up on I don't know whether they're changing a light bulb or something on a lamppost.
Yes.
They're on
the risable platform, scissor lift.
Or they're on some sort of gantry, aren't they? And
yeah.
They're quite high up. And you get the view then of the scale of the church, how big the spire is. You then get what the square looks like. You're getting your geography complete. You know,
it's a nice little bit of perspective, isn't it?
Yeah,
that he delivers there, and again, he's a master of that. It gives you that perspective and the view, so you know what's going on, who's where, and what it all looks like.
Ray walks down, doesn't he? And he's trotting down there, and there's a couple of guys, isn't there? And they seem to know him, don't they? Well, you got the mechanic, haven't you? Manny, that's it.
Yeah.
Manny, he knows him, so they've got some sort of he's just round the corner in the local garage.
Ray's telling him how to fix the car, innit? Which
is going to foreshadow later, isn't it? Which is going to be, I think it's the alternator, isn't it, or something, isn't it? And he's going, okay, I'll try that. Probably wouldn't take my car to him. That he can't work that out.
No, not the best mechanic, but at least he listens.
No, and we're still quite focused on Tom Cruise's character Ray. I think where it's all about him.
And then the cracks spread through the people, sort of sending them all scattering, falling over, and then it sort of forms this amazing circle of ripples, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then it just drops into the ground, collapses.
I love that special effect.
It looked beautiful.
It looked really good. I know what you're talking about. It lifts.
It lifts and then it disappears.
Just goes, which I think by that time, we're 2005, aren't we? We've got well established in the CGI world. But I think that's a dawn of we make special effects look like real. There's real science and physics. We could have quite easily just done the old classic. The ground is falling down and there's a big chasm at the bottom and there it is.
Yeah. How can we make this look a little bit more cool now? Let's have it rise up first.
But the whole scene is just...
It's amazing because it's like you think that was messed up and then the ground starts rotating and the front of the church comes off and you're like, what else is going to go wrong here? Because if you were there and imagining yourself in that situation in real life, what is going through your head? Because the ground's cracking, it's rising, it's falling, it's now twisting. This is nothing you've ever seen before.
Yeah.
And it was just...
And he does that very fine thing where everybody's still hanging about.
Oh, yeah.
Even the two guys on the gantry, aren't they? They're starting to wobble a bit. And
I'd be there thinking, get down.
I'd be thinking, yeah, I'm maybe they're stuck. Maybe when they
would be stuck with EMP, wasn't it? They would be stuck.
And they're literally waiting for someone to come and get a ladder or something like that.
That ladder ain't coming.
No. And now this thing's coming out of the ground. Oh, good Lord.
What a reveal that was. The noise of it, even because I've only ever sort of watched it on DVD or various streaming services now because I wasn't there to watch it in the cinema, I was too young. The noise of it even now is sublime, and I can only imagine what that must have been like in the cinema when that tripod rises up out of the ground.
Very rare do you get, I can pinpoint my cinema going time in my life where there's been moments where you could hear a pin drop in other words, regardless of whether you liked the film, whether you were there, where you were a big fan of War of the Worlds, or whether you're a big fan of Tom Cruise, or you just happened to be there with your partner, everyone was hooked. I'm literally on the edge of my seat watching this now, waiting to see the big reveal. Yeah. Everyone's still hanging around though, aren't they? They're kind
It's just that curiosity, and
but people are starting to back away a bit. People are uneasy.
you get the people who are sort of a bit more wise to the game and going, I don't care what this is, I'm going.
Yeah, I'd be long gone.
I'm not a very good runner. I would be running like I've
Push a
never
kid off
ran
a
before.
bike and steal that bike and pedal like there's no tomorrow.
Every man for himself.
Yeah, even if it's friendly, I'm not buying into this. You haven't sold it to me.
I've got enough friends, thank you.
Yeah,
I don't need another one that's coming out the ground.
But yeah, we've got the tripod, and it's revealed, isn't it?
It stands up tall, and it just stands there initially, doesn't it? And everyone's just sort of like, "What's going on?" And even as a viewer, you're sort of like, because if you know anything about War of the Worlds, you know what should be coming, and you're just sort of there like,
and I think,
and it's that you're silent like me there. It's just, well.
I think that's what Spielberg does good.
Mastering.
He knows what's coming, but I'm gonna keep you hanging.
Just in case.
I'm gonna just give you a little bit.
doubt.
I'm gonna hold you for just like the timing is impeccable. It's film masterclass in my eyes of timing. How long do you too long? Not if it's too long, you're boring everybody. Everyone's like looking at their watch. When is anything gonna happen? It's just long enough.
But the reveal of it, I thought, was again very good.
Yeah.
You focused on that guy with the camcorder.
Yes, old-fashioned cam. Yeah,
Old-fashioned cam.
We're talking in an age pre sort of video phones, aren't we?
Pre-video phones, probably pre sort of like memory cards, that sort of thing. It probably would have been potentially even a tape one. And then you see the alien pop out these two extensions, and then you just hear the noise of the beam, the death ray, the heat ray.
But isn't there? Just going that back slightly, only about like a couple of seconds. There's the foghorn, the horn noise, which and it sounds very steampunk-esque, doesn't it? It's like you hear the steam come out the top of the thing, like it's.
It's like it's got to get one up, and when we later learn that the theory is that these things have been on the ground for years.
Yes.
So I suppose if it has been and you've just turned it on, it's going to be a little bit slow. It's got to take its time to get going.
Yeah, I think there'd be an alien like doing some
working
tire
like
pressures
hell.
or something. From
Is every all systems go, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
The Falcon is like, right, I'm setting it into gear death.
Yeah, death gear 1.
and then they go for it, don't they? And they have that the beautiful reveal of essentially the death ray goes. You just see that camcorder just drop to the floor.
Yeah, we see it.
Then you look through the screen of the camcorder and just see people getting turned into dust.
It's quite harrowing.
But what I found even more harrowing about it, particularly like I said, as a 9-year-old kid, was the fact people being turned to dust, but their clothes weren't. Like the clothes were just
yes, it just evaporates.
Scattering.
Like
the biological part of you gone, but your clothes will just drop. 9-year-old me didn't like this. Terrified.
Yeah.
What can it do that? How can it?
I'll be honest, 27, and I sat there and bearing in mind that I know the book. I'm a big fan of it. I read it. I know exactly what's happening in it. I knew what we were getting, but just delivers differently and delivers something that I'd not seen. And yeah, when it starts, when it goes, you just go, "Oh my god, this is horrendous!" And then obviously everyone starts running, and we are given. Again, going back to this, I felt that scene was just Tom Cruise running, which he's always running.
He's very good at that.
I thought the scene was how I remembered it before I revisited it. Was just that Tom Cruise was running away. Lots of people are getting zapped. When I watched it now, there's loads. There's a bit you see the bit in the shop.
He's trying to run through a shop.
He's run through the shop, and the ray is slicing through the shop and through all the. I completely kind of forgot that there's quite a lot to this scene. There's quite a lot going on, and
there's that sort of that harrowing scene as well. It focuses on this random woman, an extra essentially, as she's running. You see the fear on her face, and then she gets hit by the ray, and you see the pain on her face as she slowly turns to dust, and then loses her human figure and just turns into this massive ash. And it was like, oh, so you know you're being. It's not instantaneous. You feel the pain.
Oh, it's not an instant zap, is it?
No, you feel the pain as you slowly disintegrate, and it was like, oh man, that is horrifying.
That's rough, isn't it?
That's not a nice way to go.
No.
But Tom Cruise makes it out of that.
He does, and he
Gets back home. Just his son's turned up at some point, but he gets in, doesn't he? And they're just like, "What's going on? What's going on?" We'll panic. What's this weird dust all over you? And that's when he realizes, "Oh God, I'm covered in people dust."
That's
people
human
ash.
being. And I love the sense of urgency in Tom Cruise's character. He ain't hanging around. He knows.
He knows exactly what's
doesn't.
coming.
Bear in mind, he probably doesn't know whether it's coming this way, but he's going to pretty much be sure that it probably is. So I'm not going to take any chances.
We're way too close.
Grab it. And I love this is human instinct where he's just literally a father. I've got my kids. I don't care about anyone else. He walks past most people, doesn't he, when they're talking and chatting. There's a bit of kerfuffle going on in there. Some people are running around. There's chat. You can feel the vibe in the street, don't you? Our mechanic guy's finally fixed the van, hasn't he?
Thank goodness that was good.
And he's quite happy about it, isn't he? He's like, yeah, I found out what it was.
No idea what's going on.
No
does
idea.
he?
Not listening. Completely. No one is a rubbish mechanic. Completely oblivious to what's going on. People are being annihilated down the road, you know. And I've
But he got the van fixed.
I've got the van fixed. Never mind. You know. Thanks, Ray, for your wise help.
He gets his kids in the van. Manny figures out, hold on a second.
What are you doing?
He's taking the van and he's just saying, "Get out the van, Ray, get out the van." And Ray's there like, "Manny, just get in the van."
Yeah, he wants him to get
Manny,
in the
get
van.
in.
Yeah, he's like, just get in.
Manny's not having it. So Ray just closes the door on him, drives off, and you just see in the rearview mirror as Manny gets zapped because he's still got no idea what's happening.
Because you see it from the point of view inside the van, don't you? Which I like. There's like you're sort of seeing it from sort of just about Tom Cruise's angle.
Yeah.
And like you say, he's asking Manny, "Get in the van, get in the van, mate." And if I remember when I watched it, I didn't realise that in the background you can see the carnage but it's silent. You don't get that roar. You just see it, and when you see it in the corner of your eye, you go, "The urgency is there. It's massive." And we come to what is an awesome, isn't it? Piece of special effect, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
They drive off in the car. And the heat, I'm going to call it the heat ray because that's what it's called.
It is the heat ray.
It is called that in the book, so I'm calling it the heat ray, even though it's white hot maybe.
Yeah.
The car drives off and it's carnage. Like the bridge goes up,
and the tanker gets thrown
taken
off
out. Yeah, and it's like not a lot's going to survive that. That's total wipeout. And I love that because, again, it's back to Spielberg and his scale, isn't it? We saw the bridge earlier on. We're getting an idea of how big things are. You know, we saw the bridge earlier on at the back of his yard, and aliens have just come along and wiped it out like it was a paper airplane.
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing. I love that. I did think that was really good. It happens a lot quicker than I remember in the cinema. When I watched it the first time round, I felt that scene had lasted a lot longer.
Minutes.
But it's absolute second. The whole thing is like all over.
I suppose that's just portraying the urgency with the filmmaker. We're just going to get on and do this scene. We're not going to dwell on anything.
Yeah, and we're treated to this escape scene, aren't we? So now Tom Cruise is in the van and he's driving along at breakneck speed, isn't he?
For a minivan.
For a minivan, he's the only one who's got the car working, isn't he? Everyone else. No, not one car is working on the road, isn't it? But luckily enough, there's a nice little path to drive through and get through.
Convenient.
So yeah, and we get, which I hope you're aware of, a very groundbreaking special effect because the whole thing is done on green screen, which I always believed they were actually driving, and they're not. They're inside a studio, and that's how they get the camera to go inside and out and back and round.
Oh,
and it's amazing. When you see, if anybody out there wants to watch, you can Google it, or you can go onto YouTube or something and find there's a video, and they show you how they do it. And I ended up coming across it randomly, and I thought I thought they did it for real. I thought they had the camera bolted on the side and they were driving it, and it's completely, I mean, you can't achieve that obviously if you were driving. The camera goes into the front, round, through the windscreen. It comes back out, it circles back round, doesn't it? I don't know if you noticed. And then it goes back into the car again. And I love that because it is a sense of urgency. You've got his kids shouting. The son's asking questions. Ray doesn't really know what's going on, does he? He doesn't really know how to manage this. He's seen probably the most horrific... He's just been told that we're not alone in the universe, hasn't he? He's had a lot to unpack, hasn't he, in the last 20 minutes?
It's been a rough
He's homeless
time
as well.
Yep.
Yeah. He hadn't even got his Mustang.
No, that's gone. His main aim then, he just gets to their mother's house, isn't it?
Yes.
Quite a nice affluent area. untouched, but nobody's there.
So this is, yeah. So I have a little bit of trouble with this scene, I do. And again, revisiting it, it really highlights it, that you go, I just have so many questions to answer on this scene. They pull up, don't they, to the house. And if you remember, they go in and all the lights are on, aren't they? It's like we just left, but then it doesn't look like we just left. There's no note. There's no...
It's weird. It's like they just vanished into thin air.
Yeah, it's clearly to show that Ray is living a much poorer life in his like little house. Well, he ain't got a house anymore now. He's
in his
officially
parlour
home. That's even worse. He's even worse now. He's got no home, and now his ex-wife, his home is fine, completely untouched for now. Yeah, and we have this like we're making some lunch.
He's trying to calm him down a bit, isn't he? Trying to things are okay here, so maybe we'll be all right. So let's make some lunch with the selection of condiments that Robbie bought,
which were bad. That was not a good choice to bring a box of tomato sauce, various chilies and other.
But I think that was again just to highlight how bad a dad he is. When Robbie just goes, "That's all you had in your cupboard." Just to highlight that he hasn't even got any food in his house to look after his kids. So
even at this point, he's still a bad dad. Not that he's dragged them out of their local town and made them, saved them essentially.
And then they keep rubbing that fact into him. Bear in mind what he's just been through, because he then goes, "That's okay, don't worry. There's some peanut butter here. We'll make some peanut butter sandwiches." And then Rachel just goes, "Yeah, I'm allergic to peanut butter," and that's when Tom Cruise, the dad, goes, "Since when?" "Since birth."
Yeah.
Just to really highlight,
and
you do not know anything about your kids.
I mean, it is funny when he throws the bread against the window.
That's brilliant.
I did smile at that.
Pure rage.
Yeah, and being a dad myself, I've had moments of absolute anger where you can't swear at your children, you can't do anything rash, but you need to do something, and the piece of bread hitting the window and slowly down is about right. That sums up. I'm not going to get angry because, they're my children and they look up to me and I need to look after them. But I'm just going to leave that bread sliding down the window. But why didn't they have no food? Why weren't they in the fridge? Sure, house that opulent? Surely. I mean, I would have got the air fryer on, and there would have been some fish fingers in there.
In 2005.
No, they wouldn't have. No, but I saw a very large oven and grill.
There was food making opportunities to be had.
Yeah, we had the bread. We could at least done toast, I think, or something. I don't believe, or you're not telling me they didn't have any snacks, sweets, crisps.
There was snacks. There was definitely something there.
Yeah, so that's a bit weird. But I kind of understand. Probably Spielberg wanted to do it as to kind of show how useless Ray the father was, and exactly. And he's totally unprepared. It gives the joke that that's all there was in Neil's fridge, and that he's just not very good at providing for his children.
No, but he does have that sort of bit of common sense a bit later on when they decide, it's time to go to bed, but they go down to the basement, don't they?
Yeah,
and the kids are like, well, why do we need to go in the basement if the house is fine, and the danger's not here? But good decision that turned out to be.
Yes, it did, because again, we get another terrifying kind of experience, which Spielberg does very well, doesn't he? Where there's something coming, and the wind gets up again, doesn't it? And there's there's like a tree, isn't there? And it's scraping against the window, and then we get our lightning back again. Which, believe it or not, the second time round, you think, I'm probably getting used to this. You don't. It's still quite harrowing.
Because this time you can't really see it, can you?
No.
You sort of have the view through this tiny little ground level window, which is about big enough for your eyes, and that's all you see. It's just sort of, you've got the tree in the way, and it's dark, and there's flashes.
Yeah, and in amongst all that, there's sounds that we haven't heard before, isn't there?
High pitched, almost wailing noise, isn't it?
And we go, you don't know what's going on. Again, you're blinded by what is going on out there, and they make their way, don't they, out of the basement into the further basement. There's like a basement within a basement. Yeah, we're now down there with the pipes and the sewage or whatever we're down there with, and we make our way down there. And if I remember rightly, Tom Cruise then and we do a just-in-time classic scene where we slam the door, and hopefully we're safe, and then we black out.
Ray then sort of eases away out the bunker, basement, whatever it is, their sort of little shelter, and he sort of steps up into the house, and you think, oh, things seem okay. The basement was a bit of a mess, but all is good. And then you realise, oh, half the house is missing. And there's a plane engine in it.
Cutaway, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of sort of, hold on a minute, nothing
That's
is quite
not
what it
quite
seems.
right. And yeah, there's just a plane engine in the house, which is, normally your sort of household ornament. That your house sort of sat there. But it's
Like-
still spinning, isn't it? Or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's like slightly, it's got the classic turning with a little bit of fire, isn't it? And smoke still
Yeah.
going, because we have to make it look like, that's been whirring around all night, and yeah, we're introduced to the carnage, isn't he?
The carnage
of
of
the remains of a plane that
Just
clearly
delivered.
was in some kind of grapple with that's how I looked at it. I looked at it.
I
it
always
was being
assumed-
wrenched from the sky or something.
That's
maybe.
how I sort of... Because you never really know. But you assume, based on the noise, you hear the whirring, you sort of think, oh, was that the plane engines? Have they sort of managed to somehow drag this plane down? And it's sort of like they've been holding it as it's trying to fly away, sort of thing, is how
Isn't
I
it?
sort of
And
visualise
it's
it.
got this kind of...
Or is it still whirring as they're ripping the roof off? I don't know.
And we're introduced to a couple of characters very briefly, aren't we? Which is a cameraman and reporter
Yeah.
who are going to serve quite a good purpose in a minute, aren't they?
A nice little bit of explanation
Mm.
delivered into the story to tell us what's going on, and then they disappear again.
And that was it. We don't see him anymore. And they explain, they give us, the viewer, don't they? And also Ray as well, a little bit of like, wow, they come down in the lightning. So that means the machines were there all along. Now,
It's tiny little pods, essentially. Wide enough to essentially fit in that tiny little football-sized hole, isn't it?
apparently so, yeah. They show you on a video, don't she? And she slows it down to show you what it looks like. And we get this kind of, they've always been here all this time, buried for years.
All Ray knows is that one tripod is there and is causing some havoc. But then they have that nice little clip, don't they, from somewhere else in the country, and it's just that line of tripods.
Oh, there's loads of them, isn't there?
Loads and loads, and just in a line, obliterating all in their path. And that's when Ray sort of realises, oh, how the hell do you run away from that?
Yeah.
Because they're everywhere.
So I forgot that, yeah. The Ray would think that there's only one,
Yeah.
isn't it? And I think he does actually say it, doesn't he? He said, well, there's more. Or something along those lines.
Yeah, because they almost ridicule him, I think, don't they?
And then she says, oh, where have you been? Like, what, because she knows it, because she's part of the news crew, and probably they
She's
all talk
getting-
to each other.
yeah,
She's
stuff
probably getting it
everywhere.
from all feeds. So she's like, well, what are you talking about? This is like an all-out scale world invasion.
Yeah.
This is happening everywhere. We're going to get back in the van, aren't we?
Which somehow that minivan
Yeah.
has survived this entire
Oh,
time.
yeah, isn't it?
A plane has been brought down into the neighbourhood. Everything's destroyed, but the minivan's okay.
Well, he parked it on the driveway. It was like
Yes.
literally outside the front door, and yeah, hardly scathed, not absolutely fine. Yeah,
Lucky.
He's a lucky. I never even. Do you know what? Probably good filmmaking. I never even thought about it. Yeah.
Safe.
So they're now off to Nan and Granddad's house. So we're now on a different journey, and we're off. And we get some father and son stuff, don't we? This
Robbie
going
wants to
on.
join the army, doesn't he? Because the army drive past. They stop for a wee break, don't they? Because Rachel goes down to the river. She sees all the dead bodies floating in the river. Pretty grim for a little child to see all that. They go back, and that's when the army
She
convoys...
never had her wee.
No, she did never.
They got back in the van and they were gone. Like we're not having.
I mean, I suppose seeing hundreds of dead bodies float past
Yeah.
you suddenly takes your mind off
I
things.
mean, you just go in a field. No one cares anymore. There's not like a little chef anywhere down the road. Is there?
Little chef.
Little chef, or a happy eater, even worse. Yeah, there's just down the road that you can just pop in and use the toilet and not buy anything. So
Oh, sorry, I'm staggered by the little chef reference there.
yeah, the whole army thing. His son starts shouting at them or what?
Well,
I
he
really
wants to
get
join,
it.
he
I
wants
don't
to
really
get
understand
wants to
that.
get on the convoy, doesn't he? He wants to go and fight the aliens. He's just got it in his head. We're going to go there. We're going to fight back. He's very patriotic, isn't he? We're going to go. We're going to win. And the army are just sort of splashing in with their trucks as they drive through the puddles, just telling him to go away.
Go home, son. Yeah.
And they then have an argument. Ray and Robbie have a bit of an argument, and then they just carry on their journey.
I suppose that's to build up for what we're going to get later on.
There's this little bit in between where they try to drive the back roads to avoid people. They end up driving into a whole bunch of people who hijack the car. People get shot, but they're okay because they go into a diner. Everything's fine.
Oh, there's a whole
But
standoff, isn't
There's
there?
a whole standoff. They
Yeah.
lose the minivan because somebody else has got a better gun than
I
Ray.
found that scene quite, like, What's the word?
There
There
was-
was quite a lot of tension in that, isn't it? Where is it Rachel gets stuck in the back, doesn't she?
Yeah, as people start trying to
people
climb
start
in.
climbing in and driving off with it.
Well, there was that one awesome shot of this guy jumps on the roof, on the front of the car, the bonnet of the car,
Yeah.
and he starts ripping the glass open with his bare hands. You see the blood pouring down the glass because it's just desperation to get that car.
It's weird, isn't it? Like, we really want that car. If I was on the roof of that car and there was that many people around me, I'd go, I'm probably not going to get this car. I suppose, yeah, it shows a desperation, doesn't it?
Ray's had a gun all along, and he fires a couple of shots, gets everyone to calm down.
Just say, like,
Massive
in a country that has lax gun laws,
literally nobody
only
has a
one
gun.
person. We only have one gun. It was actually Ray's gun that he just has and thought would be a good idea to take. No one else had a gun.
No, it's just him and one other dude. That is
Yeah.
it. There's 2 guns in this whole massive, a few hundred people. I find that unlikely there, but
there you go.
details.
Yeah,
So yeah, they get to the Hudson, don't they? They start walking in this massive crowd of people. There's a ferry there. The army's there. Sort of, come on, people, let's get towards the ferry.
And this, I'm going to have to say, this is always my biggest issue in these type of films. Just how everyone's still doing their job. I find it, I just don't believe it.
We don't just see at least one of them go, I'm not doing this anymore.
I picked up on it straight away that as they're moving down towards the crossroads of the rail track, there's just people ushering people along like that. Like, yeah, move along. There's cops, there's volunteers, and there's...
Despite all what's going on, the railway network is still working. I mean, we haven't got an alien invasion here, but the railway network never works here in this country. But in spite of this alien invasion, the railway barriers come down because the train's coming. But that train comes through and it is on fire.
We're treated to a flaming train, aren't we, coming
it is-
through?
But how everyone just stands there in utter silence in the film is just watching this flaming train shoot off into the distance, and everyone, the barrier goes up and everyone goes, anyway, carry on.
But I love that everyone stopped for the barrier. I love that everybody, and this is the point I have about my big issue about people are still abiding by the rules. And people will say to me sometimes, "But come on, Ross, like, people still do, don't they?" You know.
For the most
So
part,
I get we as human beings will do as I'm told if we think we're getting something. And I suppose the prize at the end is a river trip to get across the river to get away, isn't it? Yeah, so maybe I'll forgive them a little bit, maybe on this one. I mean, let's get to it now, anyway.
Yeah.
So we're getting onto the boat, aren't we?
Get onto the boat and everything seems fine, but then
it's all going to go wrong, isn't it?
it was a really cool shot they had because obviously the captain then sort of looks out the window and you see some lights underwater, and then that vortex appears, and it sort of then mirrors the ground when the first tripod appears. The vortex, the water drawing down, and then bush, the alien bursts out of it, and that's when you realise, oh, excellent, we're not even safe in water.
We start to see that they're picking people up. We didn't see that
was
until now.
Like another step for me.
Yeah.
Again, 9-year-old me watching this first time, 9-year-old time whenever the DVD came out, watching that and then going, oh good, now they're just plucking people out of the water.
You don't quite see where they're going. Yeah,
You don't know where they're going, that's the
They picked
thing.
a man up, didn't they? And you see him disappear, and he's like, oh, where did he go?
And why did he
And
go?
why did he go? That's a bit worrying, isn't it?
It was, but luckily, despite all that, obviously, you know, the joys that is plot armour, they escape all of
They
that.
escape
unlike
all that,
everyone
they
else.
managed to get through all that.
But
yeah.
that's when you just see wherever they turn, there's just more and more tripods appearing, isn't there? Because there's another 3 come over another hill and start vaporising people. There's one that will pass them. There's probably at least 8 tripods there at this point.
There's a few, isn't it? Yeah, we're quite overrun. You can definitely get the sense that, like, they're losing, aren't they? And
Quite badly. There's a hill with the soldiers on it. And they're in a furious battle.
Yeah,
it's a sudden skip, and it's like, how much time has passed? There's more people here again. Where are they now? It sort of does have these sort of jumps.
And we're seeing this is the first sort of, we see, like, military, like, action.
They're
Like
sort of
jets coming in there.
military
So they're
helicopters.
throwing everything they can at it.
The
to do it.
tanks are in a line firing. But this is where they split, because Robbie then goes to join the military again because he wants to fight. Him and Ray are having this huge
Oh,
argument.
there's a big argument on the
Rachel's
hill.
over by a tree, and some people are trying to. And as a
People
kid,
are trying to abduct their
that's what I
daughter.
was thinking. As a kid, I was like, in the middle of this alien invasion, you're trying to abduct a child. Do
Yeah.
you not have better priorities? I'm assuming she was actually just a good-natured woman trying to help her.
And it falls into one of the tropes, isn't it? Where you would just tell someone, you would just say, that's my dad over there and my brother. They're the two that are arguing there. I'm with them. And maybe most people go, are you sure? Yes. Good day to you, sir. We're going to leave. Yeah, we're going to leave because we're going to be burned alive in a minute.
Yeah.
You know.
Either way, we then they run away. There just happens to be a little house nearby.
There is a
quite
little
convenient
house
place.
that comes to the rescue for them.
It is Tim Robbins, and I'm going to have
But
to
I don't
try-
think. Do we actually know his name? Do we?
Yeah,
Have we ever
he-
found out his name?
He does say his name very briefly, and it's Harlan Ogilvy.
God, that's probably
I
why we
think
didn't
so.
mention it in the film too much. Who chose that? Isn't it?
It's not the most memorable name you're ever going to have.
Yeah, I suppose it doesn't really matter what his name is in because of what he's going to play, and
Yeah.
it's a very important bit, and it represents the insanity and mankind's drive to go and do more and survive. It's very deep. When you read the book or even listen to the musical, it's even put in there as it's the artilleryman in the musical version, and he talks about what we can do, how we can do. There's echoes of the book and the musical in there where Tim Robbins is digging a tunnel. In the book, it's about new worlds, it's about building and about we can live underground and then we'll probably just work it out.
So I think the slight difference from this one is that Harlan, I mean, he goes through a very rapid decline of his mental health, where he goes from a reasonable guy who's like, yeah, we're going to be the resistance, that sort of thing. And so he starts off, and then he just has this rapid decline into insanity. But I do kind of like the sequence with the character, and it sort of makes sense there would be that sort of the one person who's sort of hell-bent on getting back at them.
You see,
It's sort of...
I find it boring. I think we mentioned this off podcast, didn't we? That I think if this had been a TV series, it would have been probably the best episode. If you get what I mean, it would have been
because you could have really
we've only got
delved
the
into
characters.
it.
We've got restricted narrative. They can't go anywhere. They're stuck, and we're going to have a lot of self-reference. Reflection, isn't it? And you're gonna go, actually, this was the most best acted episode there was.
Yeah.
In the film, I think we've had quite a lot of scenes, we've had quite a lot of good stuff along the way, and we've had a lovely bit of pace going to it. And then we've kind of gone, they're hiding in a house, the old classic hiding in a house, and no alien's gonna trample on it, or they're all gonna work around it, aren't they?
Yeah.
While it's going. It should have just kept going. It's difficult because I think Spielberg wanted to keep it in because it's true to the book.
Yeah, he's got to keep some sort of bits, and also I think that was quite a big bit of the book, the musical, etc. was that element. The sequence where that snake-like metallic probe comes down into the basement, that gave me nightmares. That freaked me out. But now looking back at it as a slightly more mature man, it has a lot of echoes of the Velociraptors in the kitchen from Jurassic Park. Obviously, perhaps one of his most famous films,
hasn't it? Yeah.
There's a lot of, and I kind of like the element to it, like that sort of tension of you're in a confined space. How do you get away from this thing? You can't escape, but you've got to.
They're giving you all the claustrophobic kind of trope that is there, isn't it? They're giving you small space, nowhere to go, and Spielberg, he does it very well. There's this scene, isn't there, where there's the mirror, isn't it?
Yep.
And he puts the mirror up against it, and then the eye looks at the mirror, sees itself, and then the eye go over the top of the mirror, but then it's being propped up by her shoe. So yeah, it works very well. And then you've got Tim Robbins' character slightly starting to lose it a bit, isn't he?
Yeah.
And I think Tom Cruise stops him, doesn't he? He wanted to shoot it, didn't he? Or do something with it.
So essentially, once the eye is probed, it's all clear here. So the aliens themselves actually come down for a bit of an explore.
They have a little look at things, didn't they?
They have a little bit of a play around with the bicycle and that sort of thing, look at photographs. And I noticed that their heads, going back to our first podcast, the head design is very similar on the aliens in War of the Worlds as it is to Independence Day.
It is.
And one thing I'd never noticed until I rewatched this was that the aliens themselves are actually tripods. They've got 3 legs. I never even noticed that.
Yeah, everything's in threes, isn't it? Yeah,
It's just
so
threes.
you think probably make sense with it, wouldn't it? That your theme would run through your designs,
It sort of
in
sticks
your
with it.
weapons and systems. Yeah,
But like you said, Tim Robbins loads that one shell he's got into his shotgun and goes to shoot one of the 4 or 5 aliens that are in the house.
yeah.
So there's a bit of a silent fight between the two of them, and they have a bit of a falling out. But then Harlan, Tim Robbins' character, completely loses the plot when the red weeds come, and they realise, oh, this is blood.
Yeah, this is people.
This is
And we get a scene.
oh
where
yeah,
we
there's
see
an extra. There's an extra, isn't there, who sort of gets brought out of
There's
nowhere,
a guy, and he gets
dumped on the ground, and then that
a
just
big injection
giant
thing.
needle.
So again, we get to see that cycle again. Well, not. It's going to pay off big time for us later on, isn't it? As a result of it, as we all know.
Thanks all those people for their noble sacrifice.
Yeah. So,
But yeah, that,
So
he
now we
loses
know.
the plot then, doesn't he? And he goes a bit mad. He starts making way too much noise, so
yeah,
he just goes and kills him, doesn't he?
yeah, that's it.
He's got no choice.
There's a little piece of it, and again, we talk about revisiting films and not noticing things. I still think that there is nothing that I haven't seen in some of these films that I've watched. I found something, rewatching this, that I'd never seen before. So, Dakota Fanning's character, Rachel, they're in the house. I think they've just woken up or something to the noise, and maybe just pre the eye coming in to survey the room. And what happens is she gets up, and there is a spider, a CGI spider. It's not a real one, because I can't imagine they would have done it real. Crawls across her cheek and across her face.
Yes, it does. I saw that.
And she goes she waves it apart. She just gets her hand in front of her face and brushes it to the side, and then looks around. And then when I think the eye comes down, she's about to scream, and Tom Cruise stops her from moving. I never ever noticed that little spider, and it means so much in it, because, well, it's showing that she's not worried about anything, but she's more in fear of what the Martians are. Our fear threshold has completely changed. Completely. He does the inevitable, doesn't he? Tim Robbins gets it, doesn't he?
Yeah. He's
Spoiler
got no
alert.
choice. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is one of the things he has to do, but it just goes wrong from there, because he thinks, well, I've solved the problem, he's gone quiet. Little do they know that the eye's going to come back when they're sleeping later on and sees them.
Yeah.
But then it goes a little bit crazy then, because Rachel seems to run off. Tom Cruise is looking around for her in the garden, which I'm pretty sure looks like a studio set.
Oh, if ever there was a studio set, that was a studio set.
I was trying to be generous.
I know, you can't.
But it was so obviously a studio.
So glaring.
Could they not have found a garden somewhere to film it in?
Yeah, how did you not? I know they probably had to do all the red weed and build all the set and do everything, but I was like, come on, guys.
Yeah. You assume Rachel's been taken or killed.
Randomly standing somewhere, isn't
Just
she?
standing on the ridge.
Just stand there. It's like, have you learnt nothing?
Run!
If I was the dad, I would have grabbed her, took my daughter in, right, sat her down and gone, have you learnt nothing this week? You know?
What are we doing this whole time?
Like, what are you doing? We're literally standing there screaming in front of the Martian that's want to kill us, you know?
Yeah. So it doesn't make sense. It grabs her instead, because like Sophronius has decided, I've seen that girl. I'm going to leave the man. I'm going to go over to her instead, leave him to go and do his thing. No sense whatsoever in terms of the aliens, like, baffling. And then he goes into a Humvee, and conveniently, despite the fact this Humvee is presumably being on fire like the rest of them, is that belt of grenades are in there. You know, they might be useful. And
I feel the whole scene when there's a scene where the camera goes upside down, doesn't it, in the car? Because obviously it gets picked up.
Oh, yeah,
doesn't it?
yeah.
And they're kind of shaking it out like you're trying to get the last crisp out of Pringles tin, isn't it? Like, you know, and Tom Cruise is rattling around inside there, isn't he? Like in a hamster ball. And I always felt that, like, you clearly just wanted to do that. That you just wanted to do that special, because that's clearly a car in a studio on some kind of spindle, isn't it? And they fix the camera, and they want Tom Cruise to roll around inside it, didn't they? He probably did it himself, didn't he? He wouldn't have got someone else to do it.
I suppose if that was his idea.
I reckon he's like, I think this is a good idea, and they probably went, Tom, we've got him money. We've spent all the money, and he went, that's all right.
I'll cover it.
I'll cover this. He's probably got he got some money. He got his card out, his gold MasterCard, and went, yeah, I'll
consider it done.
Get it sorted. Get it done.
Yeah, he's got himself then captured after all of this. And he then ends up in a cage with a load of people, and then you realise what's happened to these people this whole time is they've essentially been kept in a cage like livestock. Luckily, he's put in the same cage as his daughter. And then another alien probe comes along every now and again, comes out of this weird red cavity.
Yeah,
for lack of better word.
It's like a weird body horror kind of thing, like something, I don't know what it is.
It's disturbing.
Bloody orifice, isn't it?
That's pretty much what it is. It comes weaving its way out of that, grabs a poor victim and drags them into the ship. Now, this is another bit that annoys me about this film. This whole sequence is it then grabs Tom Cruise.
Ah, yeah.
And that is the moment the people of the cage decide, enough is enough.
Yeah. The other
We're not
guy,
going to have this anymore.
you can't
We
have
don't-
Tom Cruise.
We don't care about Phil or whoever that was who's just been
Yeah.
taken into the depths of doom. But Tom Cruise is here. We're going to set the soldier, the one soldier who's in the cave is like, I'm going to grab him. Grabs Tom Cruise. Everybody pull me. And everyone suddenly then rallies, drags Tom Cruise out, and somehow he's managed to, put the grenades in his mouth, pull the pin, and throw the grenades into the alien ship.
Yeah.
It blows up. Woohoo, tripod defeated, and the cages the people in just drop. And again, another issue here, they drop onto trees. Now, when they drop onto the trees,
That's going to
the
be rough.
cage is rough. The tree branches don't snap. They pierce the cage, but everybody is okay.
They climb.
There's not one poor sucker on there who's just getting skewered by the branch.
Who's been skewered
Everybody's
like a
okay.
satay.
He's like, he's like, I'm free. The alien's been defeated, I'm free. And then just gets defeated by a tree. No, everyone's fine. And it's just like, come on. A little bit more realism here. It's a dark film already.
With all the whole thing we got from the whole house, I think we're quite relieved we get back into the action again when that happens. So
Yeah.
I'm slightly biased towards it. Is it good? Is it? I don't know. It's the old classic hand grenades. I spit out the key. How many times has that been done? It's action in it.
Yeah,
And it limed it up a little bit. And so forth we go.
Let me just skip some more time, and now we're in Boston.
Well, now we're in Boston. We take a massive nosedive, if I remember. We're just like, are we now walking along the road or something? Aren't we?
Everyone's just walking along the road, but the soldiers are there. There's still some of the army still around. But some time is skipped because they walk into Boston and he goes up to that statue, doesn't he?
Mm.
And the red weed is now grey and he plucks it off and crushes it, and it's dying.
It's dying, isn't it?
It's turning into ash, like they've been turning people into ash. And they go into Boston, there's that tripod up against the building. It's sort of collapsed.
It's having a little snooze, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sort of I'm not. I mean, if you were that tripod, you go, what a day, what a day,
Being a rat.
what a week, what a week. I mean, I've been in this thing like for days, right, and no rest, no union, no
Alien Union.
a Martian Union. Martian Union, they're back on Mars. We've no contact or nothing with my representative, and I've been like literally killing people and cities for weeks, and I'm having a break. Lean against a building. I'm a bit tired.
And yeah, that's all it is really. It's just leaning against a building, and he speaks to some of the soldiers, and then like, no, it did it itself. It just collapsed. It was walking weird, and then it collapsed up.
And they're still moving people on. The US Army's still doing a fantastic job, aren't they? They're literally every single officer in the
Still
US
working
Army
hard.
is standing by their post. Is keeping it together,
Honourable.
Even now. I mean, now I would be. I'd come out the woodwork.
Yes,
and
I'm
go,
here to save
I've been
the
here
day.
all along.
Go America.
Oh, what, they're dying, are they? Oh, right, yeah. I'll come here. But there's still a bit of action going on, isn't there?
There is. I mean, and that's when we get this. I think quite a nice little bit is when then Tom Cruise notices the birds on top of the tripod, plucking away at the tripod. I've never known birds to eat metal, but anyway, they're all up there, and Tom Cruise is trying to tell that soldier. But every time he speaks, the foghorn from the alien goes off, and in the end, he's just like, "Look at the birds." Then the officer looks up and looks back at Tom Cruise. And it's like, no shield. And that's when they suddenly realise. And then I like the bit that comes next. When he suddenly realises, and the soldier realises, oh God, there's no shield. And then they have the javelin fight. I like that bit. I did like that little bit. He gets all his soldiers, they all line up, and they just fire javelin missile after javelin missile, and eventually it collapses. And for some reason, some people decide as it collapses and rolls along the ground to run in front of it.
Right.
I'm not entirely sure why. They obviously get squished.
They take the thing comes down and we get to see the alien, which we've already seen.
Yeah, it's not really a reveal anymore. It just sort of
No.
pulls out. The soldier walks up to it, picks up his hand and drops it, and they go clear, and they just move on.
I mean, they open the door and like what could only be described as sick comes out of the puke,
Orange
doesn't it?
sick.
Or like I mean,
Iron brew.
I mean, maybe he was a bit ill. That's why he was wandering around very precariously. I don't know.
Yeah, we
And
don't really
he's
know
like,
what that is, do we? That's
no,
what pours
he's had another night on the tiles, hasn't he, or something, and it's like, oh, God. And this is my demise, me being chucked out of the door in amongst my own sick.
It's a flattering way to go.
Yeah. And so that's
And that's,
we're nearly at the end, aren't we?
Now he just walks through what's left of Boston, which Boston's held up pretty well, actually, in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah,
There's
I'm a bit annoyed with that, yeah.
This lovely row of houses which look like it's just a quiet down the street, really.
So we go to the grandparents' house, don't we?
Now, this is interesting. So we go to the grandparents' house, and obviously the grandparents come to the door. Ex-wife comes. The grandparents are played by Gene Barry and Anne Robinson, who were the stars of the original film in 1953.
Not Anne Robinson for The Weakest Link from our previous
not that
audience.
one.
No.
There's another
Your
Anne
Other Weakest
Robinson.
Link, goodbye. Not that Anne Robinson and other factual shows. Great little fact that they get literally a cameo, don't they?
They don't even have a word. They just
they're just literally
smile.
told to stand there. Yeah, which is I suppose a nice little heart back from Spielberg. But yeah, the street looks untouched, doesn't it? It looks like they're literally just indoors.
They've had
Just
probably
riding it out.
a reasonably chilled few
Yeah,
days.
I mean, there's nothing what a leaf blower wouldn't just sort out, would it? Just around their place and just give it a little tidy in it. But we're obviously the son. He managed to get there, didn't he?
Yep, somehow.
And he's back in, and we have a loving father and son reunion. Everyone's happy. Q Morgan Freeman's going to tell us how it went down.
Yep, good old smallest organisms, bacteria, that sort of thing.
Exactly like the book. Yeah.
Job done.
Has done it, and he's going to say this is what happened, and they were done before they'd even started. What was your favourite? Do you have a favourite character? I mean, that's quite difficult, isn't it? Because there wasn't many.
In terms of significant characters, I think it would have to just be Harlan Ogilvy. I like the name; it's a bit out there, a bit different.
Tim Robbins' character.
Tim Robbins, you just got any. You put him in a role, and you know you're going to get an absolute star performance from him. And I think he plays that sort of man going through that sort of roller coaster from normality to insanity pretty damn well. I liked it.
He delivers, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
I haven't seen him really in too much bad stuff. I struggled. I did, even in my own film that I've set, I struggled to find, but I have to say, believe it or not, Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom Cruise, he's the main character. I think him playing Ray as this irresponsible dad who doesn't really grow up, or you get that sense that it's kind of is Tom Cruise. And I think Spielberg has opened up Cruise's acting ability a little bit more and given him a little bit more to play with than just the American hero.
It's slightly off his usual, isn't it?
Do you have a favourite scene? Do you have all of this?
Out of all of it, I mean, I like the tension of the snake eye robot thing coming down into the house, but I think the best bit was Spielberg delivers when the aliens sort of first arrive. The storm. I mean, I suppose it's probably covering a couple of scenes.
Church Square, like
the storm into the church square. That whole bit there was really, I think, quite massive, and definitely the highlight of the film. Just because he just brings the suspense, the drama of it.
I mean, I'm pretty much on the same wavelength as you are. I love the church square. We talked about that pause before it all happened. It's my favourite bit. My favourite bit when that's risen up out of the ground, it stops, and there's this tension. You're just literally waiting what's going to happen, and it delivers when it does happen.
It does.
So,
really very good.
10 out of 10 for that thing. However, though, we need to give it a flame rating, don't we? If we do, this is one of our things that we do on the podcast.
This is our rating system.
Our rating system, obviously 5 to 1. We haven't given anything a 0, but then we are only episode 2.
Plenty of time.
Plenty of time to give there. Tom, how do you feel? Where are you rating it at?
It is less on the flame rating for me. I'm going to give this one a 3. It's middle ground. Middle ground for me. I love a Spielberg film. He's an inspiration for me. He's made so many iconic films. He's made my favourite film, Jurassic Park. But this one just feels weird. I find the characters, as well as they're portrayed, forgettable. They're not iconic characters. You don't go, wow, do you remember when this character did that? There's no sort of really iconic lines. You don't really remember the names.
You remember the scenes, don't you?
Remember the scenes.
Remember the imagery that's being conjured up, isn't it?
The characters
but there's no great lines. I think if you have to look through the scour of the internet at any GIFs or any...
There's none really there.
Or anything like, quotable quotes, that have come from this film. There isn't any. No. And like we said earlier on, there's no comedy. We've got no comic relief whatsoever.
There's nothing in my mind that makes this film truly memorable that you sit there and go, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to watch War of the Worlds this week. Yeah, and I think it's missing that. And
you pick it up, don't you? And I think that's what I have done in the past. I've seen it on normal terrestrial TV, and you've just picked up on it, and you've gone, oh, I will watch it. And it does draw you in. You know, it draws you in, and you probably end up watching all of it. But like I think you're bang on the money. You didn't. It's not a go-to film. It's not
There are good elements to it. I like the fact that Tom Cruise is not an invincible guy. He's just a normal dude. Like I said, he works at the docks. There's no sort of scientist explaining here and what's happening and that sort of thing, which I like. I like they're just sort of going along as like he is. Confused. What's going on? But learning as he learns. I like bits like that. But there's just something about this film that you sort of watch it and go, I've seen it. Will I watch it again? Probably not. If I was going to pick an alien invasion film to watch, it probably wouldn't be in my top 5 or my top 10.
Again, I have to agree with you. I'm going 3 Flame really on that as well, because it's nothing new. It's just a remake, and it's a good remake. But again,
It's a good remake, but not a great one.
No,
but it's not a poor.
But there you go. It's got 3, so there you go, everyone. It's 3 Flames, and that was War of the Worlds wrapped up for us today. Here we go. I'm going to ask Tom now, because Tom's down, to set me something in the realm of, and I think we're still keeping into the theme, aren't we, of End of the World.
We've got 2 more episodes of sort of End of the World style themed films.
And what have you got for me next episode?
Well, I'm going to move us away from the alien invasion sort of element of this now. And we're going to move back, though, to our first director from our first podcast, Roland Emmerich. And we're going to go and explore his film, Worldwide Disaster, in terms of the film, not as in how well it did.
It's been built up, this is.
The Day After Tomorrow.
The government has to start making long-term preparations now.
Jack, all you have is a theory.
It's been raining like this for 3 days now.
Mr. Vice President, if we don't act now, it's going to be too late.
I'm afraid that time has come and gone, my friend.
What can we do?
Save as many as you can.
There you go. The weather is coming. It's coming for you.
It certainly
Haven't
is.
seen this for a long time. Aliens are done for now.
Moving on.
We're moving on to climate change. Gotta say, I'm not that excited, but we'll give it a go.
Maybe you'll learn.
Maybe I'll change, and that's the whole point of the podcast, isn't it? Is that we revisit these things and we revisit these films that we haven't seen for a long time, and we go back to them and see if our opinion has changed. And all I can say is I think that's the end of our podcast. Thank you for listening, and until next episode, look after yourself, stay safe, from me and from Tom.
Yep, equally, stay safe. Don't get caught by aliens.
Nice.
Or weather. What the weather's going to do for us next time. But yeah, thank you very much. See you next time.
See you later. And remember, you can follow us on our YouTube channel with new episodes every other Monday.